My child, I need you to stop everything and listen to this message, because just 2 minutes ago a spiritual gun went off in the unseen realm surrounding your life. There was one shot fired, a single piercing sound that echoed through the shadows, followed by one scream that never actually reached your ears because heaven silenced it before it could terrify you. In that terrified instant, someone collapsed to the ground, completely lifeless, and the heavy thud of that fall sent a shockwave through the enemy's camp. But what followed immediately after was not the grief you might expect from a tragedy. Instead, it was pure, unadulterated panic that gripped the heart of the one who pulled the trigger. The shooter did not celebrate the hit or smile with the satisfaction of a mission accomplished. Rather, they froze in their tracks, their hands trembling as they stared at the scene unfolding before them. They swore under their breath, a curse of frustration and fear, because in that split second of clarity, they realized they had made a terrible, irreversible mistake that ruined their entire dark plan. They shot the wrong person, and while that might sound like a simple error, this is where the story gets significantly darker and more personal for you. The real target was not some random stranger walking down the street. The crosshairs were locked onto someone specifically connected to you, someone whose life matters deeply to your heart. But, my child, this story does not end with a single missed shot or a botched attempt, because the enemy's agenda is far more persistent than you realize. After that initial target was missed, the shooter did not retreat. Instead, they looked at their list, and I need you to know that there are 2 more names written on that paper. And here is the truth that should stir your spirit to pray. Both of those remaining names are also tied directly to you, woven into your life and your destiny in ways you cannot ignore. Why are you at the very center of this blood-stained plan? And why does the enemy seem so obsessed with the people you love and the connections you hold dear? Everything will be revealed in this message if you have the courage to listen, because I am exposing the darkness to bring you into the light. Now, let us begin to unpack the reality of what just occurred. Yes, it is true that just 5 minutes ago someone fired a shot intended to bring destruction to your circle, and it's also true that in the very next moment, a figure collapsed lifelessly on the ground, creating a scene that looked like finality to the watching eyes of the wicked. If this sounds worrying, concerning, or disturbing to you, then you are not yet ready for the deeper revelation I am about to hand you regarding your protection. You need to understand that the moment that bullet hit the target, the shooter did not feel the rush of victory they craved. They did not smile or laugh in triumph. They did not feel victory because instantly they cursed the shot, realizing that the bullet had found a mark that was never intended for destruction. Yes, my child, the moment the bullet hit, the shooter knew with a sinking feeling in their gut that they had shot the wrong one. The bullet didn't miss its target in terms of accuracy. It flew straight, but it hit the wrong target, a substitute that changed the entire outcome of the battle. The real target, the one they hated so much, is still breathing, still walking, still alive, and still covered by a shield they cannot penetrate. Now, before you rush to ask me, Lord, who is the real target? And why are you telling me this frightening story now? You must listen to me very carefully. The real target is someone connected to you, someone tied to your life, someone whose name you know and whisper in your prayers. And here is one more disturbing truth. After this target, the shooter has 2 more names written on their list, and the danger has not fully passed. Both of those names are again tied to you, which makes this entire assault a coordinated effort to dismantle your peace by attacking your loved ones. My child, isn't it chilling to know you are standing at the center of a blood-stained plan, unaware of the invisible arrows flying past you every day? You ask, who are those targets? Why only the ones connected to me? And I promise you that everything will be revealed and nothing will stay hidden from your eyes. But if you are truly ready to know the full truth, if you are ready to understand why you are hearing this now, then you must give me your next 8 minutes to help this message reach others who might also be under attack without knowing it. Please take a moment to type, "I am covered by God" in the comments. This simple act of faith helps this warning reach more people, because there is someone else out there who needs to know they're being hunted but protected. Because in these next 8 minutes, I will reveal everything in detail, leaving no stone unturned so you can walk in total victory. To make you understand the full truth, we must go back in time, not just minutes, but an hour before the shot was fired. Yes, my child, the shooter came early, arriving 1 hour before this incident took place, but he did not come early by mistake or coincidence. He was not restless, he was precise, because he came to prepare the ground for your destruction, ensuring that nothing would stop his plan this time. His dark car rolled into a hidden corner of the street, invisible to the natural eye, with the engine off and the lights out to cloak his malicious intent. Inside that vehicle, he wasn't just a man, he was a predator waiting to strike, a spiritual force of wickedness bent on causing you pain. He opened a black case containing a sniper rifle, a silencer, and tools of death, preparing to execute a mission that had been planned in the shadows. He checked the wind with a small meter, measuring distance, angle, and timing because he wanted absolute perfection and refused to tolerate any surprises. He rehearsed the kill in his mind. Load, breathe, lock, fire, visualizing the moment your heart would break. Then, through his scope, the target appeared, wearing the same jacket, walking the same walk, with the same height, exactly as described in his intel. He followed that target with his crosshairs, waiting for the figure to stop moving, breathing steadily as he prepared to release the bullet. His finger tightened on the trigger, and a quiet hiss broke the silence as the weapon discharged its deadly force toward the unsuspecting figure. The figure jerked and collapsed, lifeless, and for a brief moment the shooter felt triumph, but then his stomach turned cold. He knew he had shot the wrong person, and he cursed under his breath because this wasn't an accident. It was a trap. This was a trap, my child, because the one who fell was no random stranger. It was planned to protect the real target. Who planted this target instead of the real one, and why, will both shock and surprise you, and that is what I am revealing next. Now, let's begin to uncover the mystery of what you just witnessed in the spirit, my child, because the one who was shot was not who the world thinks it was. The enemy believed he had taken down a pillar of your life, but that body that fell to the ground wasn't human in the way you understand humanity. It was a decoy, a divine distraction planted by heaven itself to confuse the plans of the wicked and to catch the arrow meant for your heart. You must understand that this was not a random casualty. It was a specific intervention designed to intercept a blow that would have been fatal to your joy. Yes, my child, what fell was an angel clothed in human skin, a celestial being designed to look, walk, and even breathe exactly like the true target the enemy was hunting. To the naked eye, it looked like your loved one. It moved with their familiar gait and wore their face, but underneath that appearance was pure, unblemished light. I sent that angel there, not by coincidence or by chance, but by a direct command issued from the throne room of heaven. I did this because I am the God who sees around corners, and I saw what the enemy was planning long before his finger ever touched the trigger. Because I saw the trap being laid in the shadows, heaven moved faster than hell could ever hope to move, outmaneuvering the darkness before it could strike. I placed my soldier in that exact spot, standing in the gap between death and your family, ensuring that the timing would be perfect. So when death came looking for the chosen one, when the enemy sought to devour the destiny connected to you, it would strike light instead of flesh. The bullet passed through the illusion of a body and hit a shield of glory, shattering the enemy's plan instantly. And now, my child, you begin to understand that the collapse you saw in your spirit was not a loss at all. It was a rescue mission executed with divine precision. It was heaven intercepting hell's bullet, catching the projectile of malice before it could bury itself in the heart of someone you love. This is the fulfillment of the ancient promise I made to you, as it is written in Psalm 91:11a. Scripture you have often quoted, but now see in action. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways, guarding your going out and your coming in. Yes, my child, this is exactly what you just witnessed. An angel taking the fall, a shield of light wearing flesh to absorb the impact of a curse meant for your bloodline. The enemy thought he was ending a life, but he was merely striking against a barrier he has no power to destroy. But do not exhale just yet, and do not let your guard down completely, because the danger has not fully passed from your horizon. Don't relax because the shooter isn't finished. His mission isn't over just because his first shot was blocked by my hand. His list isn't empty, and his hatred for the light you carry has not been extinguished by this failure. In fact, he is more desperate now. He still carries his list, a crumpled record of his dark intentions, and there are 3 names total that he intends to strike. And every one of them is connected to you, proving that this battle is not about random circumstances, but about a specific assignment against your house. 3 names, 3 lives, 3 destinies intertwined with yours are in the crosshairs, and who exactly they are and why is vital for you to know. That is what I am revealing next, my child, because you cannot fight a battle if you do not know who is on the battlefield with you. The first name, the one that heaven shielded today with that divine decoy, belongs to someone incredibly close to your heart. This is someone you have laughed with until your sides hurt, someone you have shared your deepest secrets with in moments of vulnerability. This is someone you have prayed for in the midnight hour, someone whose tears you have wiped away without ever realizing how heavy their spirit truly was. Yes, my child, that was the first target, the one the enemy wanted to remove from your life, to leave you isolated and broken. And the intervention was not just for their protection, it was for your preservation as well, to keep your heart from breaking into pieces. If heaven hadn't stepped in, if I hadn't moved before the trigger was pulled, their fall would have shattered your peace permanently. It would have cracked your faith, making you question my goodness and leaving a scar on your soul that time would struggle to heal. Because some wounds don't just bleed, they break the soul, altering the very course of your life and stealing the song from your lips. That is why I intervened. That is why I could not stand by and watch the enemy execute his plan. That is why heaven stood between the bullet and your loved one, acting as a physical barrier against the invisible attack. Because grief was already on its way to your door, dressed in the clothes of tragedy, preparing to knock and enter your home. I refused to let it enter. I refused to let sorrow take up residence in your house and displace the joy I have given you. Before I reveal the next 2 names on the list, I ask you to pause and help this message reach others who need this covering. Please type "Thank you, Jesus," for protection in the comments right now. Let your gratitude be the noise that drowns out the enemy's threats. By commenting, you are helping this prophecy find the next person on the list who is unaware of the danger they are in. Help me save them by sharing this word, for there are still 2 more names written in shadow that we must uncover together. 2 names that are tied to the first, tied through blood, through memory, through destiny, forming a chain of connection that the enemy wants to break. And that is what makes this battle far from over. The enemy is not satisfied with a single failure and will try to strike the next link. Because the darkness isn't just hunting bodies, my child, it's hunting connection. It hates the love that binds you together. It is hunting hearts linked together, seeking to sever the relationships that give you strength and keep you grounded in faith. It is hunting every thread that ties you to those you love, trying to unravel the tapestry of your family and your friendships. And the reason you stand at the center of it all, the reason you are the pivot point for this entire spiritual conflict, is profound. The reason every arrow seems to point back to you, and why you feel the pressure more than anyone else, is about to be made clear. That is what I am about to reveal next, so you must steel your spirit and prepare to receive the strategy for the rest of this battle. My child, you must understand that this message is not intended to plant seeds of fear in your mind, nor is it meant to cause you to look over your shoulder in paranoia. Rather, this is a sovereign declaration of my power, a demonstration that I see the end from the beginning, and that I am the ultimate defender of your soul. The reason you stand at the center of this attack, the reason the enemy is targeting the connections in your life, is because your faith has become a threat to his kingdom. You are the lighthouse for your family, and the darkness knows that if it can shatter the glass of your spirit, the light will go out for everyone around you, while the enemy plots in secret, whispering schemes in the darkest corners where he thinks he is hidden. I am already working openly in the light to counter him. While his plans are being drafted in the shadows of malice, I am moving boldly and decisively ahead of him, setting up ambushes for the ambusher. You need to realize that I am not reacting to his attacks. I am preempting them, stepping into the timeline before the damage can be done to your heart. The schemes whispered in the dark are loud in my ears, and I have already dispatched the solution before the problem ever manifests in your reality. I have sent my angels before you, and it is not just a single guardian, but a legion of heaven's finest warriors who now surround your home. Their swords are drawn, gleaming with a fire that consumes wickedness, and their eyes do not close for sleep or rest. They are watching over the 3 names on that list, and they are watching over you, ensuring that their feet do not stumble and their spirits do not break. The shooter will not succeed. His aim will continue to fail because I have shifted the spiritual atmosphere around you to confuse his sight. The plan he constructed will collapse upon itself, and the very trap he set for your loved ones will become the snare that catches his own feet. What was meant to destroy you, what was designed to bring a funeral to your family, will become the very proof of my glory in your life. The narrative is shifting right now from one of tragedy to one of testimony, and you will see the evidence of this with your own eyes. Yes, my child, the weapon designed to end life will become the primary reason others look at you and believe in me again. For it is written in Isaiah 5:17, a promise that is active and alive right now, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. I have already spoken that promise over your life, sealing it with my authority, and it applies to every invisible arrow flying your way. But it is not just for your life. I am extending this covering over the lives of those tied to your heart, those names written on the enemy's list. So fear not, my child. Do not let your heart tremble at the sound of threats or the rumors of bad news. Don't mistake the enemy's noise for power, for he is like a roaring lion with no teeth, trying to intimidate you into surrendering your peace. The bullet that missed your loved one just minutes ago, it wasn't luck, and it wasn't a statistical anomaly. It was my mercy intervening in the physical realm to alter the course of history for your family. The life that was spared, the breath that continues to flow in their lungs, it wasn't chance, it was my sovereign will in action. And the message you are hearing right now is the ultimate proof that heaven is still watching over you, keeping a vigilant eye on your circumstances. It is proof that heaven is still fighting for you, engaging in battles you cannot see to secure victories you have not yet asked for. It is proof that heaven is still writing your story, and the pen has not been handed over to the enemy to write the final chapter. Before I share the deepest promise of my presence, I need you to seal this word for your household. Please type "God is rewriting my story" in the comments below. Let this be your prophetic act of agreement with heaven. By writing this, you are canceling the script of the enemy and accepting the new narrative I am crafting for you today. Share this with someone who feels like their story is ending in tragedy, because they need to know the author is not finished yet. Now, listen closely. This moment you are in is not your ending, no matter how dark or final it feels. This moment is your sign, a marker in time that proves I am active in your situation, because even now I am rewriting the plot that the enemy tried to script for your destruction. My beloved, I want you to engrave this truth on your heart so deeply that no storm can wash it away. Never forget this foundational promise that holds your universe together. I am always with you. Not sometimes, not just on the days when you feel holy, and not just when you get everything right. I am with you not only when you are D enough, but even when you feel you have fallen short of my glory. I am with you not only when circumstances are perfect and the sun is shining, but when the storm is raging and the night is black. There is no moment when you are alone. There is no second when my presence leaves you to fend for yourself. No situation exists where you face things without me. I am the fourth man in the fire and the companion in the lion's den. In good times when your heart is light, and in bad times when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, I am there. When life is singing a melody of success, I am the harmony. And when life is screaming with the chaos of conflict, I am the peace. When doors open wide to welcome you, I am the one who guides you through. And when doors slam shut in your face, rejecting your hopes, I am the one standing beside you in the hallway. When answers come quickly and clearly, I am the source of that wisdom. And when silence remains, when your prayers seem to bounce off the ceiling, I am still there in the quiet, working behind the scenes. My presence doesn't fluctuate with your circumstances. I am not a fair-weather God who leaves when the rain starts. On mountain tops of great victory and in the deepest valleys of despair, I remain constant and unshakable. In your highest celebrations where everyone cheers your name, and in your lowest devastations where you feel forgotten by the world. In seasons of victory when you feel invincible, and in seasons of defeat when you feel like giving up. When you are soaring on eagle's wings, and when you are stumbling over the smallest stones, I am right there. The altitude of your experience doesn't change the proximity of my presence. I am as close in the pit as I am in the palace. In joy that makes you dance and in tears that stain your pillow, I am the witness to it all. When laughter fills you, a home, and echoes off the walls, I am rejoicing with you. And when sorrow floods your soul like a rising tide, threatening to drown you, I am the anchor that holds you fast. In moments of pure happiness, I am the spark in your eye, and in nights of aching heartbreak, I am the comfort that wraps around you like a blanket. I am present in your loudest celebrations, cheering for every milestone you reach, but I am also there in the quiet corners where you hide your pain. I collect every single tear you cry and store them in bottles, treating your sorrow as something precious that will one day be redeemed for joy. In blessings, I am the provider, and in trials, I am the sustainer who ensures you do not collapse under the weight. When everything goes right and life feels perfect, I am there. And when everything falls apart and the pieces lie scattered on the floor, I am still there. In abundance, I teach you generosity, and in lack, I teach you trust. In health, I am your strength, and in sickness, I am your healer. I don't show up only for the good parts of the movie of your life and then disappear during the hard scenes. I am the director of the entire film. Whatever you are going through right now, this very moment, this current struggle that feels like it will never end, I am in it with you. I am not watching your life from a distance, observing from the balconies of heaven with a telescope. I am right there in the room with you. I am closer than your own breath, nearer than the beating of your own heart, intertwined with your very existence. Every day that dawns with uncertainty, when you wake up wondering how you will make it through, I am already awake and waiting for you. Every morning that begins with anxiety knotting your stomach, I am the peace that whispers, "We can do this together." Every afternoon that drags with weariness when your why fades, and your hope feels thin, my presence never wavers or grows tired. When the sun rises on your struggles, illuminating the mountains you have to climb, I rise with you to help you take the first step. And when the day turns, every night that falls with worry, bringing the shadows of doubt into your mind, I am the light that remains. Every evening that brings exhaustion, every darkness that seems to amplify your fears and make monsters out of shadows, I stand guard. When night comes and the house is quiet and you feel most alone in the universe, you are actually never less alone than in that moment. I am there for every step of the way, every decision you agonize over, every mistake you regret, and every victory you celebrate. Not just at the beginning when things are fresh, and not just at the end when the race is won, but in every single step between. I am there in the mundane middle, the messy middle, the difficult middle, where the real work of faith happens and where most people want to quit. I love you with a love that has no conditions attached to it, no limits to its depth, and absolutely no expiration date. This isn't an emotional sentiment that fades with time or changes like the weather. This is an eternal commitment that never wavers. My love for you is not based on your performance, your achievements, or how well you prayed today. And I won't leave you, not even when you disappoint me, not even when you think you have gone too far. I will not leave you when you fail, when you doubt my existence, when you stumble into old habits, or even when you rebel against my will. My faithfulness to you doesn't depend on your faithfulness to me. It is based on who I am, not what you do. You cannot mess this up badly enough to make me walk away. My covenant with you is stronger than your mistakes. Trust me to take care of you, to handle your DS, your family, your future, and even your deepest fears. Release the heavy burden of trying to control everything, of trying to be the god of your own life, and let me handle what you were never meant to carry. I will be faithful to you in every season that you walk through, whether the sun is shining or the snow is falling. Winter, spring, summer, fall, seasons of planting seeds in tears and seasons of waiting in silence. Seasons of painful pruning where I cut away what is dead, and seasons of bountiful harvest where you see the fruit. My faithfulness spans them all, covering every timeline of your life, ensuring you are never alone, not ever. I am here, my beloved child, and I am speaking a new declaration over your life right now. Hear this. I am going to take you higher, not sideways, not stagnant, but upward to new levels of influence and authority. You are stepping into a season of blessing and purpose that you have not yet seen, a dimension of favor that is unprecedented. Your ceiling is about to become your floor. The highest point you reached in the last season will be the starting point for the next. What seemed like your maximum capacity is about to become your minimum standard of living. Things that have held you back for years, generational cycles and old habits, are being broken right now as you read this. Not tomorrow, not someday in the distant future, but in this very moment, the chains are snapping. Those chains of limitation are shattered, lying in pieces at your feet, and those walls of restriction are crumbling into dust. Those barriers that seemed permanent, the no you heard 1,000 times, are being demolished by my hand. The fear that paralyzed you and kept you small, the doubt that stopped you from stepping out, is dissolving. The past that haunted you, the people who blocked you, the circumstances that limited you, all of it is breaking apart. It is all breaking under the weight of my power, which is actively working in your life to clear the path for your destiny. New doors are about to open that you didn't even know existed. Doors to rooms you never thought you would enter. Opportunities you never applied for, blessings you didn't chase, and favors you didn't earn are coming to find you. Connections you never pursued will manifest, and possibilities you never imagined will become your daily reality. Doors you tried to force open in the past with your own strength will now swing wide effortlessly because I am holding the key. This is your season of open doors and answered prayers, so walk through them with confidence. My child, if this message has touched your spirit and confirmed what you felt in your heart, do not let the connection end here. To ensure you don't miss the next prophetic instruction and to keep this shield of prayer over your life, please click the subscribe button now. Join this family of believers and let us walk this path of victory together, for I have so much more to show you.